Hello, welcome to my channel. It's good to have you here. My name is Gemma. I'm an advanced occultist and a criminologist. And today I'm going to talk about a few things that pertain to occult phenomena, and also I want to breach on talking about what it's like in this realm reality for me. So I'm going to talk about myself. I don't really like doing this, but I'm going to do it anyway because I really don't like talking about myself. I want to help people. This is my main point of this plane. So and there's a reason as well at the same time, and I'm going to talk about it because I think it's necessary for people who know me and you occults out there, and just really about that. I mean, I might never be popular, and there's a reason why that I might never be popular, and I get it, right? This plane isn't about acquiring knowledge and gaining traction for certain things. It's really about gaining attraction for understanding and awareness, right? So you might get people who might slag things off, but ultimately they're trying to tell you something at the same time. You have to really read between the lines. I've got Pluto third house, so I can understand certain things, why people projecting certain things. I can understand why it's happening. They're not the 369. I am the 369, and they could be creating a gauge to tell me something. Okay, so I'm not against people who are here to project some sort of masses and understanding. I'm really not, right? And sometimes we need people out there in this world to project that understanding so we can place a position in an awareness. And I think this is why I'm not liked, and because I say things that people don't really like about me, or protect. It's an aspect of protection, but it's an aspect of just bringing out awareness and knowledge. You can have a form of protection that can be protected, but you can actually create spaces where that person isn't protected through what your attachments are. Okay? Seriously. Going in. I'm not being cruel or anything, but just understand that when you work with me, you need to clear yourself. Seriously. If you don't know how, then you can't work with me. Okay? It wouldn't work. And there's a reason, and it's now. Okay? So, people will create a dichotomy and create garbage, but the reality stands is that I'm here to do something. Okay? I'm here to do something. And, people might think, oh yeah, she's bad because she's talking and she's saying all this sort of stuff, and she's, what is it? Blasphemy. It reminds me of that, the Alien, the Paul song, and it's like all over the world, and it's blasphemy. That girl, she's singing, she's blasphemy, it's blasphemy, and then she got downloaded all this stuff, and she was like, oh, I get it, and then she passed out, and she was just like, oh my god, I get this. And it's kind of like that. I am the concept of being, but it's all been mixed up because I have experiences in my life where I've had an experience once when I was a little girl, and his name was Paul, right? So it's not very nice because we have to go back to a situation where in our lives where we're being traumatized and we want to help certain individuals. So it's almost like a remembering, but it's almost like in a world concept, because I'm 369, who was that alien? They called him Paul, but that wasn't his real name, right? So it's kind of like that. It's like you're pushing on things, on streams of people, or a movie concept that isn't a real concept. And it's like trying to weed out the good to rise with the good instead of falling with the bad. And I don't mean to be horrible to anyone who has fell, because we all fall, okay? We all fall from these concepts, and it is really about helping people rise, okay? And I've been told many, many times, do not help people, do not rise people, do not do this. This is not your sort of mission type thing, and it's almost like I'm being punished for it. But the reality is that this is what the point is. The point is to rise with that. And the demonic energies that, surpass people who don't want us to rise from this up, with Moses and Jesus, the promised land, go and rise. And it's because we have to rise with top 9 energy. And it's not because, you'll be happy with nothing, because that's a traumatizing state. That's a status. They want to put us in a status with rising. Okay, the idea of rising would be a status point, and that's not what we're trying to do here. And a lot of people might even push this ideology politically and stuff like this just to stop you from rising. And it's a true concept, and it's written in the Bible. I think it's even written in the Jewish doctrine. Okay, so it's written here. Okay, it tells a story, and the story is the same, and it does fall into it, and it's the same. And the reason why I want to push this today is because people think that a space that's been created in a societal concept is right, and we can sit there and question it, and we can go, oh, this doesn't feel right to me, I need more. We do this all the time. I need more. Okay, because we have to, because this is the point of being public. Okay, this is like we can go into criminology now and understand the interest of the public. What is the interest of the public? And usually this is the first one that they will choose to underpin aspects of crime and how to destabilize crime. Okay, so when we don't understand interests of public, and it's a form of destabilization. Okay, so I saw this in criminology when I was working, studying. Okay, in my criminology in my exams and things like that, I was looking at this and I was thinking, well, there's some things that are out of place already, so I'm going to talk about this. And they told me I'm not allowed. They told me I wasn't allowed. I was getting 25s for it. I'm not even joking. I was getting 25s for talking about things that weren't being pushed as a narrative in society. Like, I was trying to decriminalise cannabis in my papers, and I was talking about how it can be beneficial to the prison service and how they can eliminate crime. And I was talking about this. I got 25 for it. You do not make sense. You're not talking sense. They pushed my dyslexia on me as a learning disability to push me down on my grades, and then they push me into an aspect of you have a learning disability, this is why, and it's not true. It's not a true concept. It's because I was dishing out ideas that would regenerate this land. Because now they've got overcrowding, and then what they're going to do? Are they going to take certain people out of Category C prisons, which is bad people like pedos and nonces and stuff like this? Are they going to take them out of prisons, put them in lesser severity sentences, because they already did that anyway? And then what are they going to do with people who just have a spliff, people who smoke weed? Because in California it's medical, and even in our country it's medical, but they have to mix it weird stuff and then put it in a tablet form and then give it to you. Then you're okay, then you're allowed it. It's weird, mate. It's because they're trying to conform a narrative within our society to the people. And the reason why they're doing this is because they don't want us to rise. Because if you take medicinal purposes, this is where you're stuck in an aspect of Gavura and an aspect of judge, which is a judgment concept, but it's aspect of strength. But it's almost like a contradictory process. And there's a reason, and it's because they don't want us to rise any higher. They don't want us to have it. They don't want us to have anything. They want us to have nothing. This is what they were saying. Oh, you'll be happy with nothing. I don't know if you've ever heard this saying. I heard it when in 2012, and I was just like, why are they being so mean? And it's because they're going to die soon. They think they're going to jump back through onto a different La La Land, mate, and they're not. Right? They think they're going to just die, jump back through on a La La Land. Don't matter what happens to me, because at the end of the day, you already took what my treasures, didn't you? You already took what was good for me. You already took those aspects. What else can you take? Seriously. And apart from helping other people in this whole entire universe, what else are you going to take? right? You think that you are so clever. Like, I'm not talking to you guys down, I'm talking about to you guys at work. You think you are so clever. You think you're so like big in the game. Like, you sit there passing all these laws and it's all under legal. It's illegal. If it's legal, you have to understand where there's illegalities taking place. You haven't even given enough evidence to suggest certain things. Like, you haven't done that properly. Like, you could have recessed, you could have done something, you could have provided, if you cared, a true care and honesty to your role, your position, the value of what it is to be in a position of being like a Hierophant energy, you would actually care about this. You are pretending. You're pretending. You're sitting like, so for example, let's say a judge or something, they've come in and they've already made their mark. They've done it behind the scenes. You haven't understood nothing, okay? Because you haven't listened to everything that's been given to you. So when you come in, you act as a Hierophant. So, nah, this is a falsity. This isn't a true concept, okay? Let me just go with you with this just for a second so I can break this down to you how they think they're doing it and they're not. They're not. So I'm going to do a walkthrough with you on how these people think that they're like big in the game and they ain't, right? So you got these people, right? They sit there, all that knowledge, they've been given all the evidence, which they might not have given everything. They come to an understanding, then they pass you over as an aspect of wisdom into an aspect of judgment. So I do judge this person, and they push them into judgment. And the reason why they're doing this is because they think they've got all the evidence here from an aspect of judgment again, so they think they're doing this. They're doing this, so they're like here, 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 and then here again. So they're like passing judgment on you. Say like if they were given a certain amount of evidence, but if you come into like a room and then you give them extra information because the people don't want to, so you're there in support, you know, you're on the other side, so you got this side giving all the evidence, and then you got this side giving it. They don't know what to do with you because you're in I do energies and you're in like mercy energies, kind of give support. You're smashing his Hierophant energies. He don't know what to do. They don't know what to do with you because you're sitting there in an aspect of, I know I do give support and this is your Hierophant energies. I'm giving you wisdom. So if you've already made that decision, you need to go back into recess, recess the situation aspect of understanding instead of ignoring the aspects of mercy and an aspect of I do energies from this perspective. This is how the tree's been smashed, and it's through the criminal justice system as well, right? So you do not understand, you have not acquired your judgment role, okay? Because you might be sat here in a judgment, okay, strength, because you've acquired it from this perspective. This might be anything here that I've mentioned in the past. So you think you're rising to an aspect of understanding with half of a knowledge. You have broken your tree because you are ignoring, okay, extra factors that are coming towards you. You are ignoring this. This makes you not a Hierophant, even though you might wear a cloak of a Hierophant. You're being pushed into judgment with the person that you've pushed into there. So this is how it falls. So if somebody's acquired an aspect of support and I do energies to this Hierophant, and this Hierophant hasn't done its role properly, what happens is they fall into judgment with the person they've pushed them into. Okay, so this is how it works. Because you ignored them, you don't care about them. You just care about leaving or your job or the time that it's taken for you to do this. When you should have done recess, assess the situation and rise to an I know energy. I know what is to know about this evidence or whatever that's been created for me to understand what I need to know in this situation. And this is the reality. If you're not doing that and you're being pushed to judgment just as well as everybody else. So you're being hung by an overlord because you're pushing something that's not correct. You're not doing it with love. and you won't do it with love, and you won't do it with an I do, I know, because it's a interpretation of a truth. So you will fall back down to this. I know I am not being honest, so I'm going to fall into judgment. And this is the reality. This is how you are creating zones within the criminal justice system that actually pertains to manifestations of lies over and over again. And then you sit there and you think that you know the answers. You've got all these answers and you think you're the boss and you think you know everything, and you don't. Because the reality is that you can sit there in love. I know I'm going to judge her with love. No, you're not going to judge anybody with any love, because you haven't even come to that conclusion yourself. You just wrote it to suit who? Somebody down here. So you fall in judgment with that person that you pushed in judgment. You'll fall there with them. You'll fall there with them. And that's the truth. And then you'll fall down here. Because not only have I lost my tree as an idea or as a concept of somebody losing their a tree concept, but if I lost my tree concept and their emotions, you're trying to smash someone's emotions, so you push that person back down. So you can understand as an aspect of being like a Hierophant energy, a priest, you can push them back down into an aspect of judgment to make them keep coming to church, smash their feels and their emotions all in one go. You can do that all in one go, all in one sentence. You are not worthy of this position. Smash. And there's a reason. It's because you're either being told to do it by an overarching factor up here and you're in judgment the whole time, or you literally just ignored the processes that need to take place to rise yourself and that other person to crown energy. So you're not rising her. You're not rising her in an I know energy to find out if she's justified or unjustified. You're playing overarching factors to control an aspect of this. This means you're a corrupt person. It doesn't matter where you sit, where you lay, where you're, whether you got a swimming pool outside your house, it doesn't matter. You are in aspects of corrupt energies because you choose to be that. You're not ruling anything. You don't rule. You might rule on a 3D zone, go, oh yeah, I'm acquiring my knowledge. You bust your tree with the person that you bust the tree with. So how many people have you bust the tree with? Because it's all he is. You all bust your trees. Because Gemma knows that you bust all your trees. Because you're doing it because you're being overruled by an overarching factor. And it's an overlord concept, like Doja Cat says. I'm alone, I'm a demon lord. This one. Why? Because you've made the judgments already. I do make a judgment on this person with regards to what that's going on. So they're going to try and push you into this energy here of support and understanding. But understanding must take place here with support, evidence, proof. And when you try and take that tree away from somebody, it goes show how corrupt your state is, because you're not even rising to I know energies. Because one, you don't know how, and two, you don't know the other person as to have they risen or not. They're trying to teach you something, and because you don't like them, because they're a woman. They're a woman. A lot of men do this as well. A lot of men push women down and degrade them because they're like, oh, she's a woman. I have my feminine archetypal energies intact. I don't need to listen to her. And that's true. Okay? And then you sit there as an elephant and you think, oh yeah, I have everything. I am the bee's knees. When you got to realise is that it takes two sometimes on a 3D realm, because on a 3D realm, it plays out differently. Right? So you get 5D, yourself can be and understand aspects of mental, but you have to understand that other people are going to bring things to the table. Other people are going to tell you something different. This is where a recess will take place. And it's a recess in love. And if you still ignore it, you're down here somewhere. You're down here. You're down here. You're listening to somebody else that's written something to listen to you. And that means that you're not even in a position of being a hierophant or a judge or a priestess, because you've failed your mission. Failed it. And it doesn't matter if your job's going, well done, you have done this, so well done to you. You're a big man in the game. Because normally you're not a big man in the game because look what you've done. You push yourself back into an emotional concept. You've done it yourself by doing it to that other person, pushing them into judgment. You got to think you might even fall all the way back down to the kingdom and they're still up here in judgment because they've reached a different level to you. And this is another thing as well. So you can be a hierophant, a priest, stuff like this. They can push all that negative energy onto you. And then you realise they're all sat down here. You're up here somewhere. And this is why, because they don't like it. They don't like the fact that you're up here somewhere messing about, like in a concept of, no, a true concept of like, not messing about, but you're, I don't know how to explain it. You're going up, you're travelling, and then they're down here. And they sit there on a throne thinking that they're an aspect of a hierophant, they're an aspect of a judge, they're an aspect of a politician or in a hierarchy factor. You don't know, right? You don't know where these people have come from though either. But if they're going to sit there and read off something that they haven't even sit in the courtroom and you're listening to all these people and then you sit and read off a little script, your little script. Oh, I think da-da-da-da. Why? Because you were told to do it, mate. You were told to do it. Because there's a corruption taking place on a plane. Because you're not being a true judge. That person who told you to do it, they're the judge, not you. You're the face of it. Right? There's a lot of discrimination taking place in these zones. In the criminal justice system as well. You're being told to do certain things. Maybe it's an overarch factor. Maybe listen to or maybe it's in your job where you're listening to somebody else. Don't help them. Why? Because that person has so much knowledge, awareness and understanding within their own bodies. You don't have to listen to an overarching factor. You don't have to listen to that. It's within you. Okay? This is what I don't like about it as well. Like when people go, oh yeah, Spirit said this, Spirit said that. Like, I can't stand it. Spirit said do this, Spirit said do that. No, mate. Spirit didn't say nothing, mate. You're listening to some Jehovah's Witness concept where you need to bring back down into your energies and understand who you are. Because the reality is that you will sit in this energy, and this energy for what? Aspects of what? Small gains and a prospect that what you're going to get, what small splendour for it. Well done, mate. You're sitting here. Well done, mate. That's all you did. You just sat there, mate, in greed. So you've got to understand that there are certain things that have been depicted through religions that are right. 7 deadly sins. You're sitting there. You're not rising to this energy. And it goes for everybody who wants to digress in understanding aspects of religion or even like normal day stuff. Somebody might just sit there in the council and go, I'm not going to help you. And it's like, hang a minute, you're helping all these foreigners, but you're not helping me. It's the same concept, right? I'm going to put it out there. Why not? Well, let's go there. You're helping all these foreigners, but you're not helping me. Why? You're pushing me into judgment. Why? Because I'm a white person. And then you got the Spaniards and you got the Romanians and all that. They're all getting help. And they're only going back to I do energies. They're only messing about here. Remember that. And then they're leaving us out for what? To rise to our own understanding that what? They're helping them do this. Yes, so we're up here because we understand what you're doing, right? So this is an analogy of understanding like a media concept, like how they was helping the immigrants, but now they're not. They're not helping the immigrants anymore. They're shipping them off. So what are they doing that for? They're putting them in aspects of judgment as well. They're pushing everybody to this side, right? And they're not just doing it to the migrants and stuff like this, and then letting the Muslims free. They're not just doing it like that. But it does seem like that for now. But what they'll do is, in the end, and I'm being honest, I'm going to end this out, but they're going to push out all the migrants and they're going to give leeway to certain ones, and then they're just going to put all of us out, and then they're going to put us all in judgment. And this is how like things happen, like COVID. What is it? The Black Death in medieval times. There was a Black Death that took place, and it was like everyone was poor, and it's because they want us to be poor. They want us to be there. But what they want us to be poor, they want us to be in judgment, they want us not to have anything, they want us to be in judgment. And I rose in an aspect of I know energies. I know I'm safe because what happened to me when I was a child. So let's get back into this a little bit. Is that what they do is they reignite a state on those grounds. So as a criminologist, I went deep into these topics. Like, I don't even know how I managed to do this, considering what's going on in the plane right now. I don't even know how I managed to do this, right? But I did, and there were some things I was supposed to do, and I was supposed to like talk about certain things like the revenue of the place, like how they create economies and stuff like this. And I wanted to talk about this in criminology, and I was told I wasn't allowed, and I'm being pushed into a corner where I'm not allowed to talk about this stuff, when ultimately the reality is that you're not allowed to talk about the economy, otherwise you get downgraded. Okay, so being a criminologist was like a space for you to talk about the social issues, not about the financial issues. And it was really pushed on us, like, you're not allowed to talk about this. If you talk about this, like, you're going to get like thirds and 2-2s. So I understood that I wasn't allowed to talk about this. But if I talk about it now, I'm on YouTube, I don't have to have anything. Like, you can try and take my degree away from me and try and take my whatever. You can try and take my treasures, you can try and take everything away from me. But the reality stands is that I'm not here to like make create a degradation of state. I'm trying to help people understand that a revenue concept would be an aspect of splendour, and it's almost like they have to create that space to create that in judgment, and it to be a demoralisation of the state, because they can't do it any other way, because the state is civilised. It's almost like we can sort of control ourselves. And it's kind of like where I can understand this. Obviously, some things can't be, but they're not even marking that as a serious crime. There's some things like pedophilia. It's disgusting. And they lowered the crime rate. And it's kind of like, what are you there for? If you're not going to help us, why are you there in the first place? If you're not going to help us when it comes to things like this, why are you there in the first place? What are you doing? It's pointless. So when we get to like an aspect of judgment and feels, you're not helping nothing. You're down here. When you like want to stop people from, when you want to like create spaces where there's no love, what are you doing? You're destroying everything, because there's people out here who have a brain that works. It ticks. All right, mate? It ticks. Tick, tick, tick. Right? And it ticks. And then you try and stop it, because you don't want it to work. Because we know that you're all yes man in emotions and you fall back down to kingdom. This is your height, mate. So you got like Sunak. I'm going in it. Fuck it, why not? You got Sunak, and he's sitting there, and he's there. He's rose to his highest position. He ain't gonna get any higher than that. And now he's falling into judgment. He's falling into judgment straight away, because there ain't no support for him, because he's being pushed into them zones anyway. There ain't any love. There's just this bit. That's all there is. Because everything else has been smashed up to smithereens. So you've got like a Sunak who has opinions. He weren't picked to go into position he's in. And guess what he's going to do? He's falling back right back down, mate. That's where he belongs. That's what you've done to him. As a society-based construct, as a media influence, as a pushing narratives onto him to make him tell you what he wants to happen in this plane because there's somebody else telling him to do it that's hidden up here. But they're not even up here. They're down here. They reckon they're love, but they're not. They're just messing about here. All here. You've all been pushed to here. And you're playing a game. You reckon people's lives, okay? You reckon lives doing this. Especially since COVID, you changed everything. All paperwork's changed. Everything's gone to electronic. and you've got people trying to be helped and you're pushing them back down again. Secretaries, a lot of you. You're all doing it. You can't call, you have to email. Oh, you're not giving them the right information. Oh, you have to ask somebody, blah, blah, blah. No, mate. This is providing actual factual evidence to help somebody understand, as I do, tries to help innocence. And when you don't do that, then it just goes show what type of people you are. Because you're going to fall in aspects of judgment just as long as with the victims. So you're all going in there. You're all going to hell. That's the concept. Hell. You are in hell. For what? For passing judgment on people who shouldn't even be in the positions that they're in. So your next lifetime is going to go to shit. And it's true. And I'm not trying to be horrible. You know, you can have all the love you want, mate. But you're not rising any higher than this. Because they don't let you. Hijack your streams and all sorts, here. So you're stuck. So you might get everything. So they're really good dudes. They're really good dudes. And then some of them just trick you. But anyway, there's some there that are really good dudes and they want to rise to this position because that's where they really belong. But they're getting trapped by other ones who think they're big in the game up here. Because of it judgment and think they can go around eating other people out, like eating other people's hearts out and that. And it's like there's no understanding that's taking place. Everyone keeps on just like creating spaces where it's a void concept, and then you think, then you got to realise, oh, it's a battery concept. Oh, is it a plus and a negative? So why is it that there's more negative on this plane? Not in this concept or this concept, but there's more negative, bad on this plane than there is good. So then you got to realise, what are you creating in this realm? All you lot out there, are you creating good? No, you're just going around wrecking everything that could be good. You're not bringing an aspect of support. You're just wrecking everything. And then it just goes to show what type of people you are at the end of it. That's why you feel lack. That's why you feel nothing. That's why you're degrading a state. That's why. Why? Because you might gain aspects of small splendour. You might gain some dosh for it. Someone's going to give you $4,000 for doing that to what? A holy grail? And then it just goes to show that you all fell. You're not even there anymore. And it's sad. Because you all fell with it. And then it goes to show what type of people you are. Because you're messing about. You think you're all here. In aspects of pushing judgment on people when you sat here. You're not even in that space to even do that to people. Somebody else is higher than you to be able to do that. That's how you can tell. You can't understand taking a break to understand an aspect of wisdom that's being taken place here. So you have to take that away as well. Because the people that are here are clever. They've attained something. A crown that you cannot attain. And then you're jealous. So you try and push them down with you. Or whoever else is stuck in the crossfire. Well, it's not going to happen anymore. Royal Archangel Gabriella. Royal Archangel Gabriella. And I'm coming to you with understanding, wisdom, awareness and knowledge to help you rise. To understand these invalids that are running this plane. Ugh.